Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, or rather, hello to all the future top rankers who are watching this video. So, before we get into the video, I want you all to pause the video first and answer a simple question whether you are following the study plan, the 4-month study plan that I had given in the previous video. First thing. And second thing, tell me if you're facing any kind of issues while following the study plan or while studying, right? So that I can read them all and I can answer all of them in the upcoming videos, right? So now let's get started. So this is not just a regular session, this is not just a basic strategy session. So in this session, we are trying to aim to score 50 out of 50 in the physics section of the upcoming MHCET examination. Now, I'm also going to give you a live demo in the video of how you are going to do that, right? So I'll mention the timestamps in the description. If you want, you can directly jump onto that demonstration part, but I would suggest you to watch the complete video from start to the end, right? So in this video, I'm going to tell you how you're going to link the static content as in your notes or the textbook content, the basic syllabus, to the previous year questions, and how practice will aid, practice will act as a catalyst in this equation, and it is going to help you score 99% in the upcoming MHCET examination, right? So now let's get started. So the agenda of this video is very simple. First, I'm going to show you the approach of how do you read a textbook, how do you understand the concepts from your notes or your syllabus, right? Then I'm going to give you a live demonstration of this chapter from physics, that is semiconductor devices, right? Then we are going to integrate the previous year questions from this specific topic, that is semiconductor topics, right? And at the end of the video, obviously I'm going to give you a tip, right? So yes, before starting the video, once again pause the video. If you're not sitting with a pen, paper and a textbook, go and get one, right? So this is going to be a very important session and I'm going to tell you to note down a lot of things. So you need to go get a pen, a paper, and importantly your physics textbook and open on to this chapter called semiconductor devices, right? So this is your chapter semiconductor devices, chapter number 16. This is from 12th standard physics Bal Bharati book, right? So before we get into this and look into the textbook, I want to first share with you the previous year questions from semiconductors chapter, right? Okay. So as you can see, these are the different questions from the chapter semiconductor devices. So the first thing that you have to do whenever you're looking at the previous year questions is highlight the topics which have been asked, right? Okay, yes. So, very first, you can see in which figure the junction diode is forward bias. So, there's a question related to PN junction diode. Then you can see advantages of full wave rectifier. That is what they have asked. Then next, they have been asked about to detect the intensity of radiation, which of the following should be done. Then they have asked how do you calculate the relation between the efficiency of half wave rectifier and a full wave rectifier, right? Then there's a question on Boolean expressions. There's a question on understanding the logic functions. You have to guess which logic function is this. Then again a question on logic gates. Yes. Next you can see over here a question on transistor, NPN transistor, and they have asked us to calculate the base current. Then next one more question on the logic gates, right? Then next we have, yes, one more question on logic gates. Okay, now here they have asked a very simple question, just the symbol of LED, right? Then yes, they have considered a common emitter amplifier and they are expecting us to calculate the voltage gain. Yes. Then the next question is talking about transistor, common base transistor, and you have to calculate the emitter current. Calculate the emitter current. Now look over here. This is the current ratio alpha DC that is given, and you have to calculate the current gain, that is beta DC. Once again, one more question on logic gates, right? Okay, now you can see over here one second. Yeah, okay. So here you can see the current gain of the transistor is given and you have to calculate the peak value. Similarly, again one more question on transistor, you have to calculate the collector current. One more question on emitter amplifier, you have to calculate the peak voltage. Similarly, again a question on transistor, calculate the voltage gain, calculate the current gain, calculate the current collector current. Similarly, one more question on logic gate, just calculate what is going to be the output. Yes, in case of AND gate, what is the inputs that is required? Then over here, once again, same question. Common emitter amplifier is given. Calculate the load resistance. One more question on logic gates. Then again, the alpha and beta values have been given. You have to calculate the current gains ratio, right? Then again, relation between the current ratios alpha and beta DC. This is the basic formula that you have to know. Again, you can see a lot of questions on gate. Again, gate. A lot of questions on Boolean expression. Calculate the equivalent Boolean expression. This one's the same. This one's the same. Okay. So basically, right now we have just skimmed through in a very short time through all the previous year questions that have been specifically asked from this chapter called semiconductor devices, from this chapter, right? So now if you just understand or this or summarize, you can see there are a lot of questions that have been asked from number one. Second, yes. So from number one, a lot of questions have been asked from logic gates. Yes, from the logic gates topic, what has been asked? Number one, the truth table. Number two, the Boolean equation. And number three, the equivalent. Yes. Now next. Next, we saw a lot of questions on junction transistor, bipolar junction transistor. So what have they asked? You either have to calculate the values of alpha, beta. You either have to calculate the values of current. Current may also you have to calculate either current, collector current, the base current or the emitter current. Then you have to calculate the voltage gains. Yes, so you have to do this small, small activity before jumping into directly reading your textbook. So this is how you have to go through the previous year questions. So now you get a brief idea ki what are the subtopics that have been asked from the given chapter, right? So now let's jump into the textbook. Okay. So this is the textbook. Now I will show you how do you skim through the textbook, right? Okay. So as you can see, we are studying about the semiconductors, and this is the first topic, that is nothing but the rectifiers. So this is the block diagram that you have already studied in your 11th standard. So this is the basic block diagram of a simple rectifier circuit. So first you have a transformer, then you have a diode rectifier, you have a filter, and then you have a voltage regulator. So the transformer is step down transformer in this case. What does step down transformer do? It would convert the voltage, you can reduce the voltage value. So now at the primary side of the transformer, the voltage is 230 volts. So since it's a step down transformer, at this input, the value can be reduced to 5 volts or 12 volts or 9 volts. Right? Then we have the diode rectifier. What will the diode rectifier do? It will convert AC into DC. That is the basic working of a rectifier. Right? Then if you see, the output of the diode rectifier is not complete DC. It is having some AC, some unwanted AC input as well. So what will the filter capacitor do? It will remove the ripple factor. What is the ripple? Ripple is nothing but the unwanted AC in the DC. So the filter capacitor will remove the ripple. As you can see the circuit diagram, circuit over here. Yes. Then we have the voltage regulator. So voltage regulator will maintain the DC voltage. So for example, if we want this circuit to work as a charger for our mobile phones, at the end we need the output to be 5 volts for our mobiles to charge. So the regulator will maintain the voltage at 5 volts DC. So this is the basic block diagram of a rectifier circuit. Whatever I just explained is just written over here. I've already marked everything. Okay, see, the AC component in the DC is called as ripple. How is the ripple removed? Ripple is removed by a filter circuit. Okay, then the voltage regulator circuit will filter and restrict the output to the desired value. In case of a charger, the desired voltage could be 5 volts. Right there. Now next, we are going to study the rectifier circuit in detail. Now what will the rectifier circuit do specifically? We are having three types of rectifier: half wave and full wave. And then you also have a bridge rectifier. In this case, they have just given two types, half wave and full wave, that you have to study. Right? So what will a half wave rectifier do? As the name says, it will rectify only half waveform. Half waveform as in only the positive cycle of the waveform, as you can see over here. So how will this work? Let's look at the circuit diagram. So transformer block, that's the basic. In the half wave rectifier, we are using a single diode. This is a PN junction diode. A single diode is connected to the secondary terminal of the transformer. Right? So as you can see, what would happen? The transformer will first step down the AC voltage. Yes, once the transformer has stepped down the AC voltage, the diode will come into the picture. Now, what will the diode do? What will the diode do? As the positive half cycle comes forward, the diode will be forward bias. I'm sure you might be knowing what's the difference between the forward bias and the reverse bias, right? So when I say positive forward bias, the current will flow through the diode, right? So as you can see over here, as the AC voltage across the secondary changes its polarity after each half cycle, when the positive half cycle begins, the diode is forward bias. Similarly, when the negative half cycle begins, the diode is reverse bias. Right? Hence, it conducts only the positive half cycle of the AC input, as you can see in the waveform. This is the input waveform, full wave, and this is the output waveform, where only the half cycle is being sent through. So this is the working of the half wave rectifier. So in short, just how I explained, in short, you are going to skim through the textbook. Skim through the textbook. Now next, skim through the textbook. Now I'll show you the similar thing for the full wave rectifier. So see, in case of a full wave rectifier, you're going to have two diodes, D1 and D2, right? Now what would happen while you're using two diodes? Both the half cycles will be passed through, right? So now how will be done? So in case during the first positive half cycle, diode D1 will conduct. During the positive half cycle, diode D1 will be conduct, and during the negative half cycle, diode D2 will conduct itself. So in this case, when diode D1 is conducting, the path given will be like so. Okay, you can just read the path from here, right? And in case of the negative half cycle, D2 will convert, the current will flow into this path. So now let's look at the waveform. Yes, so this is the waveform. Okay, so this is the input waveform, input full wave. Now, when D1 conducts, the positive half cycle will pass through, and when D2 conducts, the negative half cycle will pass through. So, the equivalent waveform would be such. Okay, so as you can see, the negative half cycle has been eliminated and there is only positive cycles in the waveform, right? So the full wave rectifier would utilize both half wave of the full wave input, right? So see, what are the advantages of full wave rectifier? One is to rectify, and one is that the ripple in the full wave is less as compared to the half wave rectifier. Now why is this important? I will show you an example. They have been asked a question on advantages of full wave rectifier in one previous question. One second, I'll show you that question as well. Let me show you that question. Advantages, yes. See, just look over here. Advantage of full wave rectifier asked in 2023. Yes, and we just read about that over here. We just read about that over here. Right? So can you see, this is a direct question that has been asked from your 12th textbook. Okay, so such questions, you should never go wrong in such questions. You need to have 100% accuracy in such questions. You have to mark them right because these are questions that have been asked directly from the textbook. What else do you want? There are a lot of questions that have been asked directly from the textbook. Okay, so yes, now next is the ripple factor. Ripple factor, as I already told you, it's the undesirable AC in the DC, unwanted or undesirable AC in the DC. So it's the AC component along with the DC is called as ripple, and this ripple is undesirable, right? So there's this simple formula that you have to know about ripple factor. That is nothing but RMS value of AC component upon the value of the DC component. So there they might ask you a question to calculate a ripple factor of a particular given rectifier. So you have to know what is the RMS value of AC component divided by the given DC component. Or they might give you the value of ripple factor, they might give you the value of RMS AC component, and they'll ask you calculate the DC component. Okay, so you can just mark this in your textbook, right? Okay, now next we move on to filter circuits. So in case of filter circuits, what's the catch? We are using just a simple capacitor in here. So at the output of the rectifier, if I connect a capacitor, it would remove the unwanted AC, that is the ripple factor. So a filter circuit is used to remove the ripple out of the rectifier. Right? So now how will it work? How will it work? So as the AC voltage across the capacitor rises, it will get charged. Okay. And at the end of the cycle, it will reach the peak voltage VP. Okay. Now once the capacitor is charged, after VP, it will start to discharge. So the as the voltage rectifier begins to decrease, the capacitor will start to discharge. And this will bring a drop across it. Right. Now after that, the next cycle would come. Now when the immediate next cycle would come, the next voltage peak will charge the capacitor immediately. So this process will be repeated. Now as you can see, first the capacitor will charge till this point. Now after this point, it would start to discharge. Now the next cycle would come, so it will again charge, discharge, charge, discharge, charge, discharge. So in this manner, you are going to get a you are going to get a DC output where the unwanted AC component has been removed. Okay. Now, as you can see, this power supply, whenever there's a capacitor, only a capacitor connected across it, it is going to be called as unregulated power supply. Because as you can see in the waveform as well, the DC output over here is not constant. It's not constant. It's changing, charging, discharging, and so on. It's not constant. You need constant output at you need constant DC at the output. Right? So whenever we say a power supply whose output changes when a load is connected, it's called as unregulated. But when the output of the power supply remains steady, it's called as regulated power supply. Now, how do we convert this unregulated power supply to this regulated power supply? Is by using a regulator. Is by using a regulator. Right? So, in this manner, you have to go through the textbook. So, first thing what you did is the first step while studying is go through the previous year questions. Next, make a list of topics slash subtopics that have been asked in the previous year papers, that have been asked in the say last 10 years. Go through last 10-year papers and then go to the textbook. That's your primary resource. In our case, our primary resource is our textbook. It can be your NCRT as well. If you are preparing for any other exam, if you are preparing for Karnataka CET, it can be the textbook from Karnataka, whatever. Third step is to go through the primary resource that you are studying. In this case, it's our Bharati 12th standard book, right? So this is how you study. I'll show you one more example by explaining the logic gates, right? And then we will also solve few questions on logic gates. Okay. Okay. See. Okay. See. Yes. Now, what are logic gates? So basically, uh, whatever we studied is there are two types of signals. One is analog signal and the other is discrete signal or digital signal. Okay. So in case of analog signal, the sine wave that you see is an example of analog signal. But in case of digital signal, there are only two inputs. There are 1 and 0. 1 and 0. Let me show you the waveform so that you understand. Yes. So see, this is the analog signal, a simple sine wave. But in case of digital signal, the voltage value is only, there are only two states for the voltage value. It's either 0 or it's either 1. Okay. So this is the difference between analog signal and digital signal. Right. So now what is a logic gate? Logic gate is nothing but, it's a simple digital circuit which is going to have one or more inputs. It could have one or more inputs. It could have one or more inputs, but it will have only one output. And this is called as a logic gate. Right? Okay. So, okay. So a logic gate will have output voltage either 1 or either 0. Right? Now next you need to understand what is Boolean expression. I feel you all are already aware with the basics, but you can just revise them once. Okay. So what is a Boolean expression? It's nothing but a mathematical statement that will give us a relationship between the input and output. Right? So now let's go and skim through all the different logic gates. The first logic gate is the NOT gate. Okay, so नाम से पता चल रहा है नॉट मतलब नो, मतलब कुछ तो opposite होगा. So it's simple. NOT gate is simple. Whenever the input is 1, the output will be 0. And whenever the output is 0, the input will be 1. Whenever the input is 0, the output will be 1. So basically a NOT gate is called as a inverter. It would invert 1 becomes 0 and 0 becomes 1. सो इसमें याद क्या रखना है? नॉट गेट इज कॉल्ड एज एन इन्वर्टर. इसमें दूसरी चीज क्या याद रखनी है? ये है इसका बुलियन एक्सप्रेशन और ये है इसका सिंबल. So you have to remember the symbol, you have to remember the Boolean expression, you have to remember the truth table for each and every gate. So as I told you, this is the input X, this is the output Y. If the input is 0, the output will be 1. If the input is 1, the output will be 0. Yes. Now next. Now next, let's look at the next kind of gate that is called as the OR gate. OR gate is also called as logical addition. Logical addition. So the Boolean expression will be Y is the output, A is the input 1, B is the input 2. So Y equals to A plus B. As I told you, logic gate can have multiple inputs, but it will have single output. So in case of OR gate, the equation is A plus B. It is logical addition. Okay. So see, in case of OR gate, uh, the the truth table goes at like this. So see, whenever there is only one input, in case of NOT gate, there is only one input, right? So the input can be 0 or 1. But in case of OR gate, since you have two inputs, the combination of inputs will be, there will be four combinations of inputs. What are the four combinations? 0 0 1 0 0 1 1 1. Okay, so this is an OR gate. Okay, so if I have to draw a circuit diagram for a OR gate, I will just show you a circuit diagram of OR gate so that you understand it better. One second. Okay, let me just draw a circuit diagram for an OR gate. Okay, so now just imagine there is one switch connected like this, there is one switch connected like this. Okay, one second, I'll just redraw it. Let me just zoom into in here. God, what's happening? Okay, yes, I'll draw this over here. Okay, okay. So let me just draw the circuit. Okay, so imagine There's a battery connected over here. There's a battery and there's a bulb over here. Okay, there's a bulb over here. This is switch 1 and this is switch 2, right? So since there are two switches, there are going to be four combinations. What will be the four combinations? 0 0, that means both the switches off. 0 1, that means one switch is off, the other switch is off. 1 0, when S1 is on, S2 is 0, and then both the switches are on. Okay, so this is S1, this is S2, and let's say our output be Y. Okay, so now just imagine if in the first case both the switches are off, so obviously the output will be 0. That means the bulb will not glow. Now in the next case, S1 is off but S2 is on. Say S2 is on. One second. Yes, S2 is on. When S2 is on, the output will be 1 because the circuit will be completed and the bulb will glow. Similarly, in the other case, when S2 is off and S1 is on, the output will be 1. And when both the switches are on, the bulb will glow obviously, so the output will be 1. So this is the circuit diagram for the OR gate. Okay, and this is a truth table of OR gate. Similarly, in case of AND gate, now the next is the AND gate. In case of AND gate is nothing but logical multiplication. OR gate was addition, AND gate is logical multiplication. This is the this is the symbol, this is the Boolean equation, this is the truth table. Now if you look at the truth table, you can see the output will be 1 when both the inputs are 1. So that means in case if I draw the circuit diagram, both the switches S1 and S2 will be connected in series. In case of OR gate, the switches were connected in parallel. This is switch A, this is switch B. Unless and until both the switches are connected, the bulb will not glow. So that is why the truth table says that when both the inputs are 1, only then the output is 1. So this is about the AND gate. As I told you, AND gate is nothing but the logical multiplication. This is the Boolean equation where y is equal to a and b. This dot symbol is called as AND. And over here, this addition symbol is called as OR. So how will you read this? You will read this as A or B. And over here, in case of AND gate, you will read this as A and B. Okay. Now next is NAND gate. As the name says, NAND is nothing but NOT gate plus AND gate. Okay. So as you can see, look at the equation. Y equals to A and B with a bar. So this bar is nothing but NOT. This bar is nothing but inverse. So how will you read this equation? A and B inverse. Inverse is nothing but this bar. So the output will be inverse. The input will remain same. So in case of AND gate, the output was 0, 0, 0, 1. Now in case of NAND gate, the output will be 1, 1, 1, 0. It will be inverted. Inverted means what? 0 will become 1, 1 will become 0. Okay. Now similarly, next is our NOR gate. So what is NOR gate? NOR gate is nothing but OR plus NOT. OR plus NOT. So look at the equation. How will you read this equation? A or B inverse. Inverse means NOT. NOT means 1 becomes 0. 0 becomes 1. So let's look at the truth table. Yes. So this is the symbol of NOR gate. This is the Boolean equation and this is the output. Okay, this is the truth table output. Okay, now next and the last is the exclusive OR gate or the XOR gate. Okay, so the XOR gate is basically It will compare the two logic inputs and it will produce a output where the value of output is dependent upon the input condition, right? So this is the symbol of XOR. Okay, XOR, it's plus with a circle. So how will you read it? A XOR B, and this is equivalent to this. So it is nothing but A inverted and B, or A and B inverse. This is how you read it. Okay, and this is the symbol, this is the Boolean equation, and this is the truth table. Okay, so what, just look at the truth table. Whenever both the inputs are equal, whenever the both the inputs are same, the output is 0. Okay, look at the truth table. Both inputs are same, 0 0 1 1. Then the output is 0. Whenever both the inputs are different, 1 0 0 1, then the output is 1. So this is the truth table of XOR gate, right? So now we have looked into the logic gate topics. Now let's look at few previous year questions and try solving them. Okay, now let's look at this question. Let's look at this question. Okay. So now, what is the resultant gate of this Boolean expression? Okay, now just look at this part. Don't look at this part. Just look at this part. If you look at this part, this is the symbol of OR. Okay, and you see a circle over here. So this circle represents NOT. So this is nothing but NOR gate. This is nothing but NOR gate. And this is the symbol for NOT gate. So what will be your answer? This is NOR gate, and this is a NOT gate. So what will be your resultant? NOR is nothing but what? What is NOR? NOR is nothing but A plus B bar. Yes. Now A plus B bar कर दिया मैंने. A plus B bar. Now A plus B bar के आगे मैंने और एक नॉट लगा दिया. That means this will become double inverse. So whenever there are double inverse, the equivalent will be A plus B itself. A plus B itself. So the answer to this question is A. The equivalent will be OR gate and the Boolean equation will be A plus B. Got it? Whenever there is double inverse, it will cancel out. Now, next question. Okay. For which of the following gate the statement is true? The output is high only if all the inputs are high. हमने ये अभी करा था. Okay. The output is high only if all inputs are high. What did I say? What did I say? Remember 0 0 1 0 0 0 0 1 1. Okay, 1 second. 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. Whenever both the inputs are high, so it is this case. Whenever both the inputs are high, the output is high only in case of a AND gate. Okay. So देखो इस question में see the question was on truth table, but they did not ask directly the truth table. They are just asking one combination of the truth table. So you have to know the logic behind the truth table, right? So now look at this. Look at this question. अभी 2022 में उन्होंने directly पूछा. They are asking what is the output of an AND gate, and they have given the different options P, Q, R, S. इसमें से you have to select. Okay. Okay. See, NAND gate, right? So NAND gate is opposite of AND gate. So let's draw it. These are the combinations 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1. So in case of AND gate, the output will be 1 when both the inputs are same. In case of NAND gate, it will be just the opposite 1 1 1 0. So this will be the truth table for NAND gate. Let's find this 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 0. Yes. So the option is option S. Option S is the answer. Option S is the answer now. Okay. Yes. Did you get it? Okay. Did you get it? The questions are quite easy. You just have to understand the concept behind the logic gates. Right? So in this manner, you are going to cover the physics syllabus. This is, see, the purpose of this video is not to teach you logic gates. The purpose of this video wasn't to teach you how rectifiers work. The purpose of this video was to tell you how you're going to sit and study. See, nobody will tell you this. Why? Because they want to, I don't know, like whatever, they are marketing or whatever. I don't want to talk about that. But if you know how you have to study, everything becomes easier, because this is a competitive exam. You need to develop your own strategy. Nobody is going to give you, because one fit all strategy nahi hai. Why? Because everybody's weaknesses and strengths are different. There is a difference between everybody's strengths and weakness. So there is no one set all strategy. The purpose of this video was just to tell you how to study, right? And I hope you get this. Okay, so first thing what you will do is you will skim through the previous year questions. Secondly, you will make a list of topics and subtopics that have been asked in the previous year questions. It is based, okay, this is linked based on the previous year questions. Third, you will go through your primary resource. So what is your primary resource? It can be your textbooks. And then fourth but not the last step is to practice. Practice what? Practice the previous year questions, resolve the previous year questions, and also some extras. Right? So these are the steps that you need to follow while studying. Okay, so thank you so much, everyone. This is all about the video. Before I end the video, comment down and tell me, first thing, you are going to summarize the study steps that you understood. And secondly, tell me if you are going to follow them. If you're going to follow them. Okay, so that's what in this video. I will meet you all in the next video. If you have any doubts, any queries, any questions, just type it down in the comment box and I will try to solve all of them in the next upcoming sessions. So once again, thank you everyone for listening. Keep hustling and keep studying.